Welcome to LUTV's coverage as Leeds United under-21s will look to pick up a victory tonight in the National League Cup. The defending champions of the competition, the inaugural one last year, have only won once and lost twice this season in the competition. They started with a 4-0 defeat to Boston, they beat Scunthorpe 3-1, then lost to Halifax 3-0 last time out. So fingers crossed that they can get another win to try and climb the table tonight. So we'll start with the teams. First of all, with the host Gateshead in this National League Cup time. They go with George Shelvey, David Ferguson, Aidan Elliott-Wheeler, Kenton Richardson, William Flint, Kane Adom, Dominic Telford, Jacob Butterfield, Tyrrell Newton, Kyle Hurst and Callum Bone. Alan Armstrong's bench is Leech, Lowery Matondo, Home, John Edwards, Fitzhugh and Williams. As for Leeds United, Scott Garrett's team, Dawal Ombang will be in goal. He is playing behind William Firth, Jaden Lienou, Jacob Howard, Louis Enahoro-Marcus, Alfie Cresswell in midfield alongside Oliver Pickles. Then it's Jacob Render, Devon Brockie, Sam Chambers, Marley Wilson will lead the line. The bench is Robert Cutt, Logan White, Ruben Lopata-White, Callum Mills, Louis Dudley and Luke Matykiewicz in the last 17 jersey. So referee just calling the two captains over. It's as it always is when we play Gateshead away at this stage of the season. A cold and miserable wet evening always seems to be the case. Gateshead struggling of late, 4 defeats in a row in the National League. They are the only team below Leeds in Group D in this competition. It doesn't mean though that a victory is guaranteed. Ben Parker sat alongside me because there's a lot of respect, and if you're in a league game, Ben, and you've lost 4 of them in a row, cup competitions like this will allow you to build up some momentum. Gateshead will not be lying down tonight. Leeds doing the same as they look to get a win in this competition. Let's hope for a good night at the office.
Yeah, fingers crossed, and good evening to you, Tom. Good evening to people tuning in. As you said rightly so about a game tonight where every game has something riding on it. You just look at the number 9 lining up for Leeds in Marley Wilson, because everyone knows his story, how much football he's missed. So that in itself is just a great success to see him out on the pitch starting the game once again. But Gateshead seeing their team sheet coming in earlier tonight, and it is a strong team. Thought they might have made even more changes than they have done, but they've gone strong. Just they're trying to get a bit of rhythm into their recent results. So it's going to be a big challenge for our young players tonight. But again, it doesn't matter looking at the league table or not. There's always pride on every single game, and they'll be looking to go out on the pitch tonight and stamp their authority on the game.
Free kick, won by Chambers. Back into Howard. Just caught on the ball, and now Gateshead can make their way forward to the edge of the box. Shot will come in. Ombang makes sure it is a corner. Effort stinging the palms from Dominic Telford. And a rare error in possession from Leeds out from the back from Howard. Gateshead get a shot away, and thankfully for Leeds, Ben, it is just a corner.
Yeah, and nice, easy save for Ombang. Just helped it on its way. A player who's recently had experience out on loan.
Away by Cresswell. Lienou to Chambers. Wilson's trying to make an advancing run. He's having the shirt pulled, so he checks that idea, and Chambers will instead make his way forward. It's a really teasing run, this. He's got Brockie behind him. He will in fact go for goal himself. It's a corner. Sam Chambers wins it. He gets something out of it, but as again, just gliding forward makes it look effortless.
Well, the first 2.5 minutes, if that's anything to go by, then we're in for an entertaining game. Hopefully I'm not jinxed it now, but yeah, this is Chambers at his best, isn't it, Tom? Space in front of him, such a strong runner with the ball. Tries to catch the keeper out, wins a corner kick.
First delivery is poor by Leeds, headed away easily by Gateshead, and now they're advancing pretty easily before a challenge comes in midfield from Pickles. Okay, so bringing the ball out from defence, this time with Newton. Good pressure from Brockie to force that hosts into their own half. Only two at the back for now for Gateshead in possession. One of them is Richardson, the captain. He picks out a lovely ball. Touch was a little bit behind from Elliott-Wheeler. Firth forced into defensive action. Gateshead might have a shot here. Well wide in the end, but a bit of positive start the host Ben. They're getting some good areas, testing Leeds.
And you can see from Leeds' perspective, especially out of possession, not trying to press the two centre halves, just trying to be compact, make it difficult for Gateshead to play in between the lines. But on the flip side, don't switch off as well for that longer pass, and that's what the experienced players of Gateshead will spot early doors. So yeah, stay compact, that's a positive, but you don't ball watch, always look and check your shoulders for those runners going in behind.
Under control by Hurst. Back he goes into Ferguson. And now Newton scanning midfield, picking out Butterfield. Here is Newton again. Poor touch. Brockie intercepts, but he'll need a bit of a helping hand. He's just bumped off the ball quite well by Adom. Pickles works it to Cresswell, just peeled away as a fellow holding midfielder. So clearly buoyed by the fact they've dispossessed Howard twice now. And they're going to view that as an avenue for success. Howard this time goes long, and it's a fantastic relieving pass that just when Gateshead thought they'd got his number, he produces that to Brockie, who now finds Chambers. Checks his run. Lienou on his outside, still going Chambers. Just a poked pass to Pickles. Cresswell's asking for it over at the left-hand side of midfield, but Leeds can't find an avenue to play it. Howard again on the wind. It's a poor pass this time, and it's out of play. But this is where National League teams will set traps, Ben. It's a different sort of tactics they'll be used to playing in a week-in, week-out basis. So this is where Leeds have developed over the years. Try to play against these teams where it will help them for later in their life. Yeah,
it improves decision-making, really does, with and without the ball. See that occasion there. Good thing I like about Howard, he might have made a couple of errors with his passing tonight, or getting the ball intercepted off his feet, but always try and get on the ball, and that's any sign we'll see from a young player that's positive. Don't go into your shell in games like this, still want to receive the pass, so try and do the right things in the right areas.
Telford tries to engage him. He goes to Firth early. Renders on his inside. Firth can't really find a path for that pass, so instead to Brockie. Here is Lienou. Pickles, Chambers, looks for an angle for a shot. Instead, to Brockie, lead to Render, powerful shot. Saved in the end by Shelvey. Tried to put his foot through it. Don't think there's much else he could have done there, Benny. Try and go for place. Gateshead maybe get to that.
Yeah, it's great build-up play. Really was. Showed plenty of composure. Made the right options. The simple passes were on at the right time. And then just that injection of tempo, quality from Chambers coming in from the left. Creates a space out on the right for Render. As you said, good connection from his strike. Just a bit too close to the goalkeeper, but yeah, passage of play that Leeds will take confidence from.
Here's Render. Lucky originally, he gets a free kick. Leeds concede a free kick of their own with Wilson. It's great to see him back, but just to start, he's had a couple of sub appearances. I don't think it's anything a non-player can understand, Ben, when you say it's minutes and getting those into your legs and starting week in, week out. It could take him all season to find his sharpness. But for a lot of fans maybe, or even myself, you know, you don't actually understand it till you're a player. How hard is it going to be for him to physically recover after this tonight? He started a game, first time in a long time. Yes, it's great for him, but I'm guessing it's going to take a lot out of him as well.
Oh yeah, it might take him 2 days to get out of bed, Tom, but the psychological element, that'll be a massive step for him tonight.
Lienou to Chambers, back to Brockie. Behind him, has a go. Keeper didn't know much about it. Wilson has a poked effort towards goal. I think the keeper had got his hands on it anyway. And it's well recovered by Shelvey. That's where Wilson wants to come alive, and it is those instances where rustiness might come in, but he got himself into a good position.
Yeah, and 10 minutes into the game, Scott Gardner and his coach and staff on the touchline been really pleased from what they've seen, especially in possession. But this is the danger, just allowing that extra bit of space between the lines for Gateshead, but working ever so hard to get back into shape.
Over the top to Elliott-Wheeler, who is going to get there. Shot's going to come in from Adom. Great stop. Somehow Howard and Ombang, a combination of the pair, get in the way. You just think the goal's at their mercy and it'll be 1-0 That's the never say die attitude. Howard turns his body brilliantly, and I think it is Howard, Ben, that gets to it first. Ombang's the one that goes and celebrates. Top defending.
Yeah, he gets the high fives, and rightly so, because he just saves a certain goal. Just say it there. The praise for Leeds in possession, but the danger out of possession, committing too many bodies forward, and Gateshead nearly capitalise on that.
Newton spreads the ball wide. Gateshead happy just to exchange a few passes at the back. Into Butterfield. Now back to Richardson, the Gateshead captain. Adom nearly goes without the ball. Will be played in behind, hangs the ball up. Ombang can only pat it back down. Nearly tapped in by a Hurst. Thankfully for Leeds, there was bodies back scrambling to knock it out for a throw.
And that's why it was in the end, just scrambling defence. Again, just finding the space down the channels. A bit too easy at the moment at Gateshead, and Ombang does well just to try and claw it out and then clear the ball away just in time. But again, it's good being compact, but you've got to stop the spaces, especially down the sides as well.
Wicked effort enough. Ombang all the way though, had that covered. Was never worried about it going in. And a goal kick for Leeds, which Firth will go and retrieve a new ball on the other side of the pitch. Nearly there for Wilson or Brockie. To Wilson's credit, he will put a challenge in. Firth jumps up high, it's good committed defending. And to Brockie, rendered just a bit flat-footed. Leeds give the ball away, but get to see Will Firth at his regular spot tonight, which is a good chance for him to express himself. Played at left-back for the last few months for the 21s. And not looked out of place either.
Not at all, and I think he's never let himself down. Every time we've seen him, you rightly said, a lot of time on that left-back position, which is a bit alien to him, but he's never let himself down, let his team down. He's always give 100%, and I'm sure he'll thrive being on his favourite side on the right full-back position tonight, and as they start the game ever so well.
Steps up for an angle for a pass, receives it, takes it out to Ferguson, who drives into attacking space, into Hurst. Deflection away for another corner. Gateshead moving quite nicely tonight, clearly on the same page. Ben mentioned a lot of experience in this team. Render stands as big as he possibly can. Another ball comes in and it's sliced wide by Telford according to the ref, and it will be a goal kick. Lienou advancing out to Chambers, who's had some success tonight. Gets stood up by the defender. There's not a lot in that. It's just smart play from the fullback. Guessing you'd have done that plenty of times in your prime, Ben.
Yeah, especially when you've got someone like Sam Chambers running at you, you don't really fancy getting in a foot race with someone like him. So yeah, it's really good signs though from likes of Sam Chambers. Yeah, he's got 11 on his back. We know he's not going to stay out wide, but he's mixed his game up ever so well, getting to pocket of spaces on the half turn, and that's where we're going to need the likes of him tonight to try and influence the game.
Yeah, he's been out there 3 games in a row now. A couple of games ago he was a bit out of it and couldn't get involved. Last time out he was very much one of the key protagonists of Leeds' performance. Away by Firth. Ferguson towards Bone, headed away by Enahoro-Marcus. Defender misses it. Howard's got to be careful. Bone just heads it straight into the hands of Ombang. To Brockie, back to Pickles, little glance from him to Render, good run from Firth when he's inside. Brockie gets it, it's good feet, just when you think he's about to be dispossessed, dances out of traffic, gets a free kick in a good area.
Yeah, they keep the ball ever so well, yet again do Leeds. Bit of patient build-up, went back to Ombang, out to the left-hand side, worked it back to the right. You can hear the screams from the touchline from Gateshead in terms of win the ball back, so they're under pressure receiving the passes, but as Brockie did there to win the free kick, had a picture in his mind what he tried to do with the ball, and manipulated it ever so quickly, draw the foul. It's a dangerous situation now.
Yeah, awkward for Pickles to float the cross. He's very close. Lienou is there as a left-footed shot option. One that he will have a go. Forces a save. Looks pretty routine overall, but still a shot on target as Chambers gets back. That's great work from him. Wins a free kick as well. Most highlight reels will show Sam Chambers running the other way, Ben. So a nod from his teammates, I'm sure, and his coaching staff.
Oh, exactly. And when the first team coaches ask about Sam Chambers' performance, these little things get brought up more often than not. That's what they want to see, that work rate, that determination for your team. Yeah, the highlight reels, as you mentioned, when he's beating players and his assisting scoring, as we've seen him do over the last couple of years. Yeah, them things are brilliant, of course, but it's the other side of the game that coaches look out for.
Cresswell connecting late with a challenge. I think it's Hurst that he's caught. Yes, it is. Shelvey plays it forward into Flint. He turns, goes to captain Richardson. Pickles nearly gets caught, slides in, he's done exceptionally well. Brockie only has Wilson on his inside, tries to force that pass in, something a bit different. Plays it early, played it with conviction as well, Ben. It doesn't come off, but Wilson was on the same page at least.
Yeah, it was, to a certain extent, but then they worked it ever so well. In particular, was Pickles with a challenge just to regain possession. Brockie on the half turn, received the pass correctly, just drive forward with the ball, just see what the back four of Gateshead would have done. Well, they kept retreating, he could have carried on.
Nice work from Firth, is it? Ombang, equally so. It works in the end, take it. Pickles, Cresswell, asking a lot of Firth. Ferguson goes back to his goalkeeper, Shelvey. Newton to Hurst, who's trying to get past Pickles. Newton again, it's a good first time pass that. It's released Telford, who's looking for a way to get through. Cresswell just picks his pocket, and Enahoro-Marcus wins a free kick. Timely as well, Leeds are under a bit of pressure there.
He did it so well, did Pickles, not just to delay the attack from Gateshead, but when Firth went forward on the right-hand side, he left his space at right full-back. Gateshead tried to utilise that space, but Pickles, doing what all good midfield players should do, filling in for your teammate, did ever so well there. To Cresswell. Brockie spins out of trouble. So going Devon Brockie.
Cresswell. Adom tried to start the press to force them into a pass they didn't want to make. Halfway through this first half, and Enahoro-Marcus to Chambers. To Cresswell. They just start to play a bit of nice football here. A lot more one touch, a lot more zip in the passing. Here's Render, nearly gets it through. Chambers can't pick up the pieces. Gateshead will try and clear. There just seems to be a bit more confidence there, Ben. Have you sensed that yourself?
Yeah, and I think they've moved the ball ever so well from the first whistle tonight. And all you would say as we approach the second half of this first period is, can we just start testing out the Gateshead goalkeeper a little bit more, because we are getting some promising positions.
Need to work it out of trouble. Ombang. Howard to Render. Firth looks offside, so can't play that pass. Again, nice and tidy though in possession this for Leeds. They're taking risks but controlled. Howard puts a bit too much power on that pass, tried to fizz it into the feet of Firth. He'll be frustrated, but it's something he prides himself on, is his possession play. Gardner giving out the instructions in front of him. There's Chambers. Just shows a bit too much the defender, which is Elliott-Wheeler. Pickles rides the challenge, goes for goal. Oh, it's brilliant for Pickles. Takes him on himself, spots a gap, exploits it. Gateshead 0, Leeds 1.
What a finish. So clinical from Pickles. We'll just pick up the second ball and you think nothing's on for him. But beats a couple of players and then a little bit of space on edge of the box, and it's a clinical finish, really is, to the goalkeeper's right, bottom corner. Superb Pickles.
He got a couple of goals in this competition last year. Still such a very young, developing player. But a modern midfielder in the respect of loves the ball at his feet, works hard, links play. Getting a few goals is the extra when you've got the 8 on your back for Leeds, like Chadwick and others have before him. It's nice to see if you've got that in your locker. And he has more than that. It's a finish that you should be very proud of. Best thing as well, Ben, almost acted on instinct. Wasn't sat up inviting for him. He still had an awful lot to do.
No, it certainly did, and it was just his positive mindset. As soon as he picked up the ball, he was thinking about driving towards goal, but as soon as he beat the two midfield players, it's onto the back four. They tried to close him down at that point, but as we said, it's a clinical finish, really is.
Well worked by Firth, gets the goal kick. He deserves a pat on the back as well for his efforts. Times that challenge. I thought he looked like he's about to go in early. All guns blazing, stood off it, times it when he wants. Wins Leeds a goal kick, and to the man sat alongside me, that contribution is just as positive as Pickles' goal.
It's just as good as an assist or a goal in my book, mate.
Here's Hurst. Leeds have got to make sure he doesn't have space to shoot, which he does in the end, but he scuffs his effort. Pickles just giving me a quick shoulder barge at the last second. That might have put him off. Cresswell charges over halfway, now rolls it to Render. He's got Wilson alongside him, tries to pick him out. It's good defending. Richardson cuts out the passing lane, stops any attack. You've got to praise the work when it's like that, as Chambers is unfortunate, commits early to the challenge, and Elliott-Wheeler wins a free kick.
But again, it's all positive. It's all on the front foot. Starts from Ombang. Wasn't content just to slow the play down. It was going 1-0 up. Seen Cresswell in some space on the right-hand side, and then off we go.
Firth being encouraged to go back to the spot of the throw-in. To Gateshead credit, they have woke up a little bit there and made sure he can't go backwards to Howard. A bit more power that behind Firth. He's got Brockie. Elliott-Wheeler wins it, but he's got no Gateshead shirt on the attack to meet it. Options for Leeds, all ignored. Firth dispossessed by Telford. Enahoro-Marcus back to Ombang. Squeezes that pass into the gap to his centre half again. Ombang casually brings it out from the back. I think Brockie was originally looking for Howard. Howard's still on the opposite flank for now, looking for a pass. Plays one to Pickles. Chambers turns. It looked like he's about to be dispossessed. It's effortless again. Flicks it inside, just a whisker behind Cresswell. Gateshead just not having as much joy, Ben. There's still a desire to press, but they're not giving Leeds as many issues.
Yeah, I won't say we're dominating the game by any stretch of the imagination, but say we're on top. We're controlling possession. We're winning the second balls. We're forcing Gateshead to go a bit longer without the quality that they've shown maybe first 15-20 minutes of the match.
Ombang pressurised. This could be an opportunity here. Butterfield looks for an avenue for a pass, runs into Enahoro-Marcus. Render just going to be a smidge just too far in front of him. Risky pass that from Enahoro-Marcus, doesn't get punished, thankfully so. Over to Cresswell, to Firth, to Brockie. Oh, really crisp from Leeds. Brockie wins a free kick. He was caught late. Really are playing with confidence, Ben.
No, they are, and they're not forcing the issue, and they're trusting the teammate in terms of, yeah, they might be under pressure a little bit, but the pass is on the right-hand side, opposite side, should I say, to the defender, so they're just been able to play around the corner, and they're just making good options in possession, and yeah, it's forcing Gateshead with a few issues at the moment.
Brockie from Enahoro-Marcus out to Firth. Render and Wilson tucked inside. Firth to Cresswell. Working in close quarters here. Tried to get it up and over. Cut out by Hurst. Newton looking for Adom. And Cresswell picks up the loose pass. Lienou round the side door. Gets the call to Chambers. It's great teamwork from them two. I'm not sure he'd have seen him at first. Lienou now has a bit of trickery up his sleeve to get past his man. And the reaction tells you it should be a goal kick, which is very frustrating because he was in behind.
Yeah, did the hard part really well, really pleasing on the eye. They're just two intelligent players on the left-hand side, not having to look where one another is, just expect them to be in the right place at the right time. Both obliged, and we've seen Lienou getting those advanced positions all season long so far, and always has that bit of end product, that little bit of quality, but just eluded him at the key stage then.
Block from Howard. Firth behind him, covering. Up to Wilson. Brockie. There'll be no free kick there. Gateshead lifted by that, try to speed it up. Here's Butterfield. Telford. Wide it goes to Bone. Butterfield to Hurst. Adom pulling out wide. Overhit. And a sloppy pass looking for Hurst. Leeds will take it under no real pressure again. All very relaxed for the back four at the moment.
And that can be the danger. We've seen it so many times in these competitions, haven't we, Tom? That against the experienced players, just when you think you're doing well, lapse of concentration and you get punished.
Just like one there, effort will come in. Adom smashes it over the bar. Gateshead haven't got the shooting boots on as we need a new ball at the Gateshead International Stadium. Two subs as well being lined up. This will be due to the rules of having to play players that played in the last match. And the first looks to be Newton. 20 and 31 coming on, which is John and Williams. Does appear the other sub coming off was Richardson, the captain. So 35 minutes gone, and they've turned to their bench to give some fringe players a chance.
Richardson, replaced by number 20, John, number 31, Leech.
And misses the ball. Could be crucial if they can get a counter-attack here going Gateshead. Hurst. So 3-on-3. Howard trying to force him wide. Ball back in. Ombang very late sees it. Out to Adom. Ombang goes to ground. Tremendous block by Pickles. Two great contributions at either end for him inside 37.5 minutes. Without him, sure the net is bulging at the far corner.
Oh, it certainly is, and we saw a block by Howard earlier on in the half, which was vital. That even more so, and again, as much as we'll say comfortable, but been the better team in the first half. All it takes is a lapse of concentration or a bit of quality from Gateshead, and they can punish us. But fair play to the team, just to help one another out. I think the goalkeeper's beaten Back comes a midfielder or a centre-half just to bail the team out.
Firth. Wilson makes an inside run. Goes to Brockie instead. Back to Pickles. To Cresswell. So the byline render will go. Wilson bursts near post. He'll get a corner. He's patient again though, Ben.
He's patient. It's good quality. Utilised when the option wasn't on to play the pass, but this is the defensive actions we're seeing. Look how many blue shirts are back inside the 18-yard box just to help one another out, and we needed every single body there just to get a block in the end, but flip it around. Positive plays led to this corner.
Lienou hangs it up to the far post. Header from Cresswell. Straight into the hands of Shelvey. 2-on-2. Maybe even a 3-on-3 if Gateshead are quick at the far post with Bone. Here's Hurst. Chambers has got 2 to mark if he isn't careful. Hurst will have a go. They get a corner. Another good bit of defensive work from Will Firth.
Yeah, did well by just not diving in, just delaying, being in charge of the situation. But the disappointing element is it's the second time where the goalkeeper's just kicked the ball out of his hands, and it's 1v1, 2v2 at the back. And yeah, I get you trying to be positive, you back yourself, but just the ball into the forward players of Gateshead a little bit too easy.
Butterfield's delivery with a floater. Up by the head of Ferguson. Hurst will meet it at the far post. Keeps it alive. Ombang comes out. A strong punch. And an effort comes in from new man on the pitch, Fenton John. It's well wide. 5 minutes left of this first half, but strong, solid performance so far. Anything you want to see apart from the corner technique, Ben, in the next 5 minutes to try and get either a second or at least a 1-0 lead at half-time?
Yeah, I think there's nothing too much really can fault in the performance. You know, certain times trying to stop the pass going out wide or defensively don't get caught ball watching, watch the runners. But you have to say, as a performance overall, the first 41 minutes of this half, relatively pleasing.
Here's Howard, just holds off on the pass. Chambers. It's going to reach Brockie. Left-footed maybe. Last second, just in the side netting. Runs out of wriggle room. Just wouldn't sit for him, Ben, fully to have a full view at goal or a pass.
Yeah, just couldn't get out of his feet, could he, Tom? Get a little bit of fortune how it breaks to him in the end, but you see it there, the ball's always stuck underneath his feet, angle not in his favour as well, and he tried to go to the near post, hit the side netting.
Ombang's off his line quick. Wasn't needed, but he concedes a bit of territory. Gets his body in the way, just ensures that nothing was going to come of that. Adom attacking run forward. Poor ball from Ombang. Butterfield gets to it. Telford will have space to shoot, doesn't use it, just overrun from him. Flint steps out of defence to find Bone. Referee gives a free kick. I do always, not because that's against Leeds, it's fine, do always find those interesting, even if it was for us. The linesman's flag doesn't get raised. He could have hit Sam Chambers with it.
One of life's mysteries of those, Tom.
Here is Bow. Overlapping run from Elliott-Wheeler. Pickles smashes it clear.
The 50-50 draw has been made, and the winning ticket is 0844. 0844.
Cresswell, Render covering as Hurst picks up possession. Butterfield to Bow. Here now, John works the 1-2 with Ferguson. Ferguson's got the better of Render. Render comes back for a second attempt, double deflection. Goes against him for a corner kick. The delivery from Butterfield. Howard misses it because of that confusion. Hurst can only knock it off his chest. There's a Gateshead player down, I think, asking for a penalty kick.
The fourth mission is indicated there will be a minimum 1 minute additional time. 1 minute additional time.
Good flick on header from Render. Picks out Wilson. There's an option here outright if they can pick it. It was Pickles. Chambers instead gets it. Back to Wilson. He gets caught on the ball. And it's easy, so much easier when you see the full picture of the pitch where that pass should go. Pickles was the ball bent. Sadly, Leeds couldn't spot it. That's how it goes.
Yeah, it is, and that is the frustration part. And you're right, you never make a mistake from when you're watching it from our position.
Firth gives away a free kick somehow. Didn't think there was much in it in either way, but there is half-time, so Leeds lead thanks to a fine strike from Pickles in the 27th minute. Powerful effort into the bottom corner. This young team have played with a lot of confidence and heart as they look for a second win in the National League Cup this year in Group D. Join us in around 10 or 15 minutes time for second half coverage. Welcome back to our UTV's coverage as Leeds United's 21s have a 1-0 lead starting this second half. With a change at the break, Gateshead replacing Kane Adom. And Ethan Fitzhugh has come on in his place. Leeds look to be as they were. And it's Pickles' goal. 27 minutes on the clock. Powerful drive into the bottom corner. Intercepted the ball early. Took it forward. Slotted it home in a real moment of quality. That wasn't the only one though for Leeds. They had chances. They worked some lovely opportunities and positions. They just couldn't find that last killer ball to put pressure on goalkeeper Shelvey. Enahoro-Marcus gives away a free kick here. It's on Bow. Right on the edge of the box. Myself, Tom Hill and Ben Parker bringing you all the action. This is an early free kick in a dangerous position, Ben.
Yeah, it is, and it's, of course, goes without saying that it's not ideal to start the second half at all, and we're about to say, can we just replicate what we did large parts in the first period, because I thought it was very good in a lot of areas, but centre of goal, 25 yards out. This is so difficult for Ombang, trying to get his wall right. It's important they just stay compact. If they're going to jump, the jumpers one. And Ombang just commits to one side.
So Telford stood over it. He moves away. Ombang, good hands needed. Butterfield going for the far corner, and Ombang tries to release Wilson early. Bit of inspiration from the first half. George Shelvey doing the same for Gateshead. Thumbs up from Wilson suggests the idea wasn't too far away from being executed well. So Gateshead go with Shelvey, Ferguson, Elliott-Wheeler, Flint, Telford, Butterfield, Hurst and Bow. As Gateshead get a throw in. There's also got John, Fitzhugh and Williams. Leeds, Ombang, Firth, Lienou, Cresswell, Howard, Enahoro-Marcus, Render, Pickles, Wilson, Brockie and Chambers. There's Chambers looking for Lienou, just dances away at the last second. Just didn't have enough conviction with that second touch to get away from John. Flint. Pressure from Leeds, forces a slice goal kick, although Gateshead have managed to make something of it. Here's Bow. He's got Elliott-Wheeler to his right, Telford to his left. He is going to go on his own, and Ombang will pick up a deflected shot. No drop of in pace though, Ben. I mean, like I said earlier, Gateshead the only team below Leeds in the competition. Naturally, with a bit of pride and 4 league defeats in a row, you know, teams playing at a National League level will want to play for league position, momentum going forward. So it's no surprise that we've had another energetic start.
Yeah, we do expect that reaction from Gateshead, especially from the experienced players who are out there. I know a couple myself just from playing against them over the years, and they'll have that personal pride, of course. So if a Leeds' perspective, got to match this early effort from Gateshead and playing the right areas, and there's nothing wrong with going a little bit longer, trying to force Gateshead into positions of the pitch where they're not really comfortable, not really tested and threatening. And if games does settle down like it might have done now, that's when you can get your passes in.
Cresswell to Chambers. Plays it to Brockie, a little glance over the shoulder from him. Out to Pickles. Oh, rattles the frame of the goal. What an effort that would have been. Last effort, low and hard. The second has the height. Oh, he's hit it so well. If he's got a minuscule less power on it, that top corner is bursting. We have 2-0. He doesn't deserve that, though.
Is there a thing of hitting it too well? Because, yeah, the connection Pickles got on that ball then, he was destined surely to find back of the net, but the connection was so sweet and pure. He just kept on getting more power generated into the effort, clips the upright. But as I was saying, try and play in certain areas, go a bit longer if needs be, but just shows you can mix the game up. The passing was top notch. What a chance, so unlucky.
Really put Gateshead on the back foot, that as well. As Lienou to Cresswell, sidesteps really well. He's a touch unlucky with the pass. Brockie puts Butterfield under pressure, the 2 10s going at it. Here is Bow. Brockie went to ground early. Referee says nothing in it at all. It's a massive call in the game in terms of Leeds just hit the crossbar. If that's a penalty, all momentum they've built up is gone. But language-wise, Ben, there's no uproar from Gateshead.
Yeah, not much. I do think there was contact. It's one of those outside the box. The free kick's getting given. And see Gateshead in attack now.
Pickles going to ground, and Enahoro-Marcus adjusts the body well at the last second. His clearance ends up being a pass to Render. He's done well to say that ball wouldn't settle for him, to at least drive it forward. Firth flies in. Strong challenge. Brockie releases Cresswell. Pickles to his right-hand side's in a bit of space. Chambers is his preferred option. Leeds have numbers at the far post. And there is one of them to tap in. And it's Jacob Render that slots it home. Right place at the right time. Chambers' ball was so inviting. It's Gateshead 0, Leeds United 2.
And they just injected that bit of quality, that bit of pace on the left-hand side through Sam Chambers. And it's a delightful ball across the face of the 6-yard box. And any good wide player coming on the opposite side should be doing for a tap-in. And that's what Render does. It's an easy finish in the end, but it's all the quality from Sam Chambers. And from one end of the pitch to the other in a blink of an eye, the scoreline has doubled.
Scorer for Leeds United, number 21, number 7, Jacob Redmond.
It was Flint. Gateshead have to try force a few things. They look to get back in the game. Wilson does very well. Leaves his leg in just in time. Wins a free kick. How hard is that, Ben? You know, you've been injured. He's limping a little bit, and he limped off at the end of the first half a touch. How hard is it to get your confidence back when you've had an injury like he has, to be willing to put your body on the line? Because that's what a striker has to do ultimately. Yeah,
and I think the contact injuries aren't too bad from a psychological point of view. It's like you're twisting and turning, you're sprinting. Those are the ones that might take a while and a bit of confidence within your own body. So, yeah, Wilson, again, just doing what good strikers should be doing, buying free kicks, settling it down for your team. Hasn't had a lot to go off from a chances perspective, but 3 or 4 occasions is challenged for a ball, made it difficult, been a good platform. And these are the side of the games when, because he'd have been training for a good number of weeks now, and his fitness levels will be half decent, but you can't really replicate these in-game experiences where the ball's coming up to you, you've got 2 centre-halves fighting for it, you're trying to relieve that little bit of pressure for your team. All these kind of things you do forget about as a player. So for him to just get involved in these little battles on the pitch, do him a world of good.
Here is Render. So that's had a spell up front this year for the 21s. Wins his team a free kick. Smaller in stature against Richardson, who's a more powerful man. Render holds his own. Chambers injects a bit more pace, stumbles, nearly gives up on it. Maybe could have got a better delivery if he'd have gone full throttle from the start, but he's in a much better position to realise if he's got the ball under control or not. Electrifying first 9 minutes of this second half. Leeds have doubled their advantage if you're just joining us. Here is John. Butterfield. No real pressure from Leeds, so he surveys the field. To Fitzhugh. Butterfield again. Telford just dropped off Enahoro-Marcus. Fitzhugh picks it up. Brockie dives in. Important that Chambers doesn't, and Lienou. Enahoro-Marcus stands him up, gets a good strong leg in the way. Then he holds off Fitzhugh, who's desperately trying to buy a penalty of any sort of set piece. Never going to get that when the defender's just too strong.
No, it's not. And I think it's the game at the moment when, yeah, the second goal gives us a great platform and advantage, of course. I'd like to see us just kick on again, be even more positive, be on the front foot, keep doing the good things we've done in the first 55, 56 minutes of the match, because I think they've applied themselves ever so well. They really have. They stood up to the challenge, the physical nature that it might be against the experienced players, but we've had the confidence and belief to play our own game, and it's certainly come off so far.
Fitzhugh running at Lienou, only for a split second as he flicks it to Bone. And Enahoro-Marcus again timed his challenge really well. And he plays it up to Wilson. It wants it to stick. It's awkward though. There is where that sharpness will have to come from Marley Wilson. And you've just got an experienced defender knocking him off the ball. Here is Butterfield. Cresswell loses sight of the ball for a second. Fitzhugh driving forward. Elliott-Wheeler's got behind. Lienou needs a bit of help. Elliott-Wheeler just loses his bearings, trying too hard. That's what we need, Ben. You want Gateshead to make mistakes because they're overexerting themselves. That's a classic example there. Didn't need to make the trick, just try to do something to catch Leeds out. It is a throw-in instead, as referee wants a word with Chambers. Target in there. They've just had a word with the referee, which I'm guessing suggests they thought he'd gone in overzealous. He isn't going to stand down. There were several Gateshead players up against him. Scott Gardner is trying to calm them down because Lienou's involved now back play. The referee's got a good sight of this. They have to be careful here. Jed and Lienou will need to be calmed down. Marley Wilson, the latest one, to try and stop him from, I was going to say losing his cool. That happened 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, a bit too late for that. You think it died down, really, didn't you, when got Sam Chambers away from that scuffle and just out of our eye line, kicked off yet again. And yeah, the referee and officials have got to have eyes in back of their head to try and sort this one out. Hopefully common sense just prevails. Didn't see anything untoward. But it's just these occasions where this could spark Gateshead into life. So for our young players, future referees won't get involved. Yeah, you have to look after yourself and your teammates back you up, which they did. But sometimes don't get involved in these kind of scuffles, don't really need to. But then if they are is going to be a response from Gateshead now, yeah, we've got to be mentally switched on for that.
Cards coming out. Chambers gets one. So Chambers and Lienou got cards. And there was Elliott-Wheeler that got one. Number 4 for Gateshead, as well as Fenton John. Because of all the drama, everyone's forgot who had the ball. Should be an arm wrestle for it. They want to have a real scrap.
Yeah, Royal Rumble I'm going with. Scrap the arm wrestle.
Start with the coaches first.
Yeah, Scott Garner, Johnny House, and yeah, I've seen types of Royal Rumbles when we all lived together in the digs in our youth days. Not back in them, unfortunately.
It's Pickles, good sliding challenge on the hour mark, concedes a corner. Underneath Ombang, Firth gets to it first. Fitzhugh went for a swing but misses it. Lienou to render. Wilson won't get there. He's caught. Another one of those where you're just pleased to see him get up. Because those little bits of contact where he'll just get that familiarity back for so long on the sidelines. Gateshead coming forward, blocked by Firth. Reminder that Leeds bench. You got Robert Cook in goalie. We've got Logan White, Ruben Lopata-White, Callum Mills, Louis Dudley, Luke Matykiewicz. And the end of the night for Marley Wilson. It is no surprise to say that he isn't going to complete the evening. Logan White will replace him. And a word again just for, he hasn't contributed massive amounts on the ball, and there is nothing wrong with that. He's worked hard. The game has not been about a number 9 tonight with how Leeds have played. They haven't needed it. And
again, just for a selfish point of view from himself, that gets an hour of real game time into his legs. Doesn't really seem to have picked up an injury, a knock. So it would do a world of good, it really would. Like I said, just the experience has been in a game where there was one example earlier in the second half, he's trying to sprint in behind, didn't get the ball. 10 seconds later, he's getting a ball fizzed into his feet and he's trying to adjust. Like I said, you can't really replicate that into a game, especially at this intensity.
Scott Gardner telling his team to manage the box as White nips in towards Brockie. Brockie holds off one, skips away, fizzes it, plays too close, so always turning inside that pass. Frustrated with himself there, the number 10, because the space is left unoccupied, should I say. He's now in Gateshead control. Dangerous balling. Elliott-Wheeler's nowhere near it in the end. And Chambers lets it go for a throw. Chambers to Brockie, runs into a bit of traffic last second, could have gone the other way. Tiredness kicking in mentally as well for these players when you only got a split second to look at goal. It's not as if Leeds' second half, Ben, have had a ton of possession, a lot of avenues towards goal. It has certainly been a lot more harder on the legs defensively, as here's Lienou. Turns inside, Lienou shows a bit of class and skill, just shows a bit too much. Got to watch his cool. Those two players are on cards. And I think that's the case of why Fenton John's gone at him and just tried to nibble away. If I'm being honest, Ben, I would say maybe Lienou tried to trick too many to try and wind him up.
Yeah, and he just gets involved a little bit too much there, and you just see him trying to get back into position.
Howard gets the ball caught underneath his feet. Telford picks it up. Cresswell's hurt himself, limping out of the edge of the box. Telford again. Late block. Firth can't get it to anyone else in blue. Cresswell just goes down now. Referee might have a word to see if he's okay. Goal kick is the call, which is great for Leeds. They need that breather. Here is Howard. Enahoro-Marcus. Good challenge, really good from Leeds. And that's the man that was limping early, and he's still limping. Embodies everything this football club is about. Arthur Cresswell, of course, his family links did the exact same thing. And he isn't fully fit out there, he's carrying a knock. So to prove I can continue, Ben, let's just smash into a challenge and win the ball back.
Just love that desire and dedication to the cause for his team. You're saying there, limping 1 minute, flying to challenge the next. That's what we're going to need between now and end of this game.
Here is Telford, important block from Leeds. Here's Bone. Look again from Pickles. There's appeal for both teams that they get the call. They get the call. He's a bit slow out from the corner there. They're not punished, but could easily have been a different story. Big 5 minutes in the game, you'd feel. Gateshead, a bit more seasoned pros, playing on this pitch in these conditions. A bit more used to it. Leeds have got the lead. They've got to earn that goal back. Gateshead, they can't afford to give it away, but that is exquisite football from Leeds. Cresswell has Pickles. At the far side, there's Render. Leeds look towards that far post. Powerful ball towards Logan White. Render picks it up, thrashes it towards goal. Deflection helps Gateshead. Maybe again another example of wrong pass at the wrong time. But the football to get themselves out of trouble, incredible. One touch, the vision, everything about it. We'll get Ben's thoughts in a second, because now there's defensive work to do, a lot more quicker and alert than they would like to be. Cresswell just gets back. Leeds urge to get forward. Firth steps up. Cresswell, tired header. And an overhead kick that goes to Ombang and will kill some time off the clock. Energetic minute from both teams.
Yeah, really pulsating passage of play in the game, and we did the hard part well yet again. So just on a few occasions tonight, really pleasing on the eye, the way they just moved the ball, cut Gateshead open with a passing, but again the wrong option in the final third with a final pass, and the game's just becoming a lot more spread open, and this is going to be a real challenge for our young players now. Can we still operate at a high level when the mind and legs are getting tired?
And behind again here with Fitzhugh. Out to Butterfield. Leeds encouraged to get out. Block from Cresswell. Now an even more bigger contribution. Lays it to Chambers. They're not on the same page. What went wrong there, Ben? Could they have executed that better? Did Chambers give up on it? Was the pass not good enough?
Well, in the end, something went wrong, didn't it? I just thought Chambers just carry on your run, really. Got the beating of the retrieving defenders from Gateshead. No one's going to catch him. And he just seemed to slow down, or he tried to work out his run to go a bit wider. Just keeping that straight line. The pass would have found him. He'd have bared down on goal then.
We have Callum Mills coming on. The 15 jersey for Leeds. And he will replace Devon Brockie. There's another one that's on his way back from injury this year. Played some good games, good minutes. And in the number 10 jersey tonight, he's had to work tremendously hard. 20 minutes rest for him.
And he showed really good glimpses and bits of quality in terms of receiving the ball the right way on the half turn, being positive, being proactive. Yes, certain things haven't come off in the final third, but he's always trying to do the right thing.
Here's Flint. Bone turns, runs into Mills. Good work from him. The corner where Leeds just a tad slow out the blocks. Try to conserve their energy if they can. Cross to nobody at first to meet it first time. It'll fall out towards Hurst. Howard is the man that's trying to stand him up. Centre back gets twisted and turned. Good defensive work. Lienou jumps up along Ferguson. Bow goes for it, it won't settle fully. Need to be desperately happy to see that ball trickle away from him, because that was nearly penalty territory with legs dangling out. Elliott-Wheeler. Back he goes to Flint. Telford works it wide to Hurst, who's going to go for Brockie to the byline. The cutback is on. A mixture of Howard and Enahoro-Marcus get there. Behind for a corner to Gateshead, who just got that second wind a little bit, Ben. I'm not saying Leeds are hanging on, but they're certainly camped in their own penalty box.
Yeah, and we see it so many times, don't we? That a 2-0 scoreline for some reason can be a dangerous one. Do you stick a twist? But just that experience, nature of getting to clinging the way back into the game.
Wheeler again driving it forward. Mills snips in. Risky pass there, looking for Cresswell. Bone will have a dig. Ombang alert to the danger, had to be. And he's had another really solid game back there, Deval Ombang, for Leeds 21s. Issue is Leeds are just trying to play with fire a bit too much, taking risks they maybe don't need to make without that lack of an out ball up front. Maybe trying a bit too many tricks out from the penalty area. We hope whatever they do works out, as here is Cresswell. Doesn't go to Chambers. Lienou can now switch the play. He sees the space. So unlucky they're looking for Logan White. That has to stick for a 3-on-3. And those are those moments. There's just no momentum being built by Leeds.
No, it was a good save by Ombang initially. Good height for him. Always in control of the situation. But you're right, we're just turning the ball over far too cheaply at the moment. And the couple of times when we've got a bit of time on the ball and some good options in front of us, we don't make it count. That's going to be the key for the remaining 15 minutes plus stoppage. This Gateshead are making a lot of changes, more fresh legs for us to try and see out for the remainder of the game. We've just got to make these opportunities count and play in the right areas at the right times.
Yeah, so subs are made by Gateshead. You've got Lucas Lowery Matondo, Josh Home on for Telford and Butterfield. So some experienced players leaving the pitch. Here's Fitzhugh in that little pocket of space Leeds do not want him in. Offside flag goes up immediately to deny Lowery Matondo. Good 6-7 minutes have passed with Leeds just defending. Mentally sapping though their energy. But for a good few chunks of these players in the squad, they've been here before. Winners of this competition, having to do the hard yards against the National League side. It's some of the other younger members that perhaps are learning their ropes out there. To Ombang. Leeds under relatively low pressure though. There's no massive need for them to panic. Ombang picks a delightful pass out. Header from White looking for Render. White will chase it down. A mistake at the back to Cresswell. Here's Mills. To Pickles now. Little floated pass to Lienou. So Chambers looking for any sort of angle for a pass inside. Not one found. Here's Pickles again. Little shimmy to get himself back onto his right foot. Render the target. You also got Firth up there, which shows the energy levels that he has. Thought my eyes were deceiving me, Ben. Number 2, who normally struggles with cramp, that's how much he puts his body on the line as a youngster. Second further player forward.
Yeah, I love the desire, I really do. I just think from a team perspective, if I'm Howard, centre half at the side, I'll just be like, just stay here. There's no need for you to keep making those runs. Great, like you wanting to show that energy and the desire, but stay next to me.
Ombang, another good save. Really important. He's got the help from his teammates to get back. Mistake from Gateshead in possession has given Render the chance to hold it up. Bit of an easy pass for White, who, to his credit, has scrapped away on the floor for Leeds. Great pass, even better save. Firth gets down. That one Ombang's playing himself into one of the match contender at each and every moment he contributes to this game. He's been a brick wall at the back for Leeds. He might just need a third to ease everyone's worries, because Gateshead are not going away.
I'll tell you what, for Ombang, I think his development over the course of this season just got better and better. He's just becoming more assured and has a real presence at the back. Did so well then.
Cresswell tries to squeeze it through to Pickles, and Enahoro-Marcus had to win that and does. He's bone in a bit of a heap on the floor. White back to Pickles. Mills round the corner to White. Leeds still playing with a bit of zest about them, those subs looking for a way through. White taking them on his own. The youngster has options at the far post. Chambers is the main man out there. Inside pass. He's on to Mills, who opens up his body to have a go. Blocked at the last second. Pickles wins the knockdown, has another effort and smashes it into the corner. One with his right, one with his left. The keeper got a hand to it. Too powerful. That's game, set and match. Gateshead 0, Leeds United 3.
Too powerful and too good, let's be honest. Just another clinical finish. Wins a second ball and so-called weaker left foot. Just smashes it past the goalkeeper. Yes, gets a slight touch, but due to the power of the shot, he can't keep it out. And at the key moments in the second half, when we've needed to make the quality and the territory count, we've stepped up and produced 2 fantastic finishes. And that's second of the night for Pickles, and leads a good value for this 3-0 lead.
Scorer for Leeds United 21, number 8, Pickles.
Howard under a bit of pressure from Bone. Enahoro-Marcus back to Ombang. Cresswell to Chambers. Played into a bit of an impossible situation there, really, in terms of getting out of trouble without being touched. Even in his young career, I think he's very much used to having his ankles nibbled away at. Howard uses that space. He's so good at driving into areas to help Leeds. White into Mills. Gateshead sitting off here. There's opportunities galore. Render is one of them. Just gets caught. Pickles comes flying in, as does Cresswell. Just going to be deflected over. It was White. In fact, I think rather than Pickles coming in, he was the one that was stopped in the challenge. Corner instead, but the energy levels they're finding here to have this 5-pronged attack against 3 defenders.
Yeah, you can see the players. Now's the time to enjoy themselves, really is. Better decision making. Could have had a 4th. And the scoreline, people are just tuning in, does not flatter us one little bit. Yeah, we've had to make a couple of saves from Ombang, a couple of blocks, decisive blocks, but it's been such a good team performance tonight.
Cut back, Cresswell just can't get his foot around the ball. Pickles nearly gets himself an assist to go with his brace. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of banter between the pair about shooting boots on after that, because that is what both players have added to their game this year, Ben, is an eye for goal. Cresswell's picked up some lovely finishes this year, the last 12 months. It's up to Pickles tonight to take the limelight away from him, but Cresswell in those areas probably would have thought he should have hit the target.
Oh, certainly at least hit the target. And I think that's the element of having Johnny Howson coming back to the club, being with this group. And yeah, we've seen Johnny play every game as centre half, but he's been a midfielder throughout his career. The goal scoring one, shall I dare say, in his early days. He'll be telling the young midfielders to contribute even more.
Firth to White, no return pass. White has a dig as a result. Gateshead are looking a little bit leggy now after all that attacking momentum. It's Leeds that are now looking for a 4th. It's funny how football works, with the tide flowing one way then the other. Pass towards Fitzhugh. He puts too much on it, looking for John. We made that point just then, but it's when the chips are down. You know, Fitzhugh's pass, if that was the 70th minute, that sticks, and Leeds are on the back foot, and it just shows you a little bit of concentration levels have dropped, and Leeds are now in a lot more comfortable position.
Yeah, and I think what this message does for just our group and going into second half of the season, it's almost a benchmark of the levels we need to be at, with and without the ball, and the intensity, but showing that quality at the right times, taking advantage of getting into good positions, testing the goalkeeper, putting the ball in back of the net. On the other side of the things, you're making those challenges, keeping a clean sheet. Can we see it out? Keep that 0 to Gateshead. All these things do matter, but do you really think it is a game which can be a reference for the second half of the campaign of, boys, you know the levels you need to get to, and if you get to those levels, these are the outcomes.
Yeah, it's a very good point, that, actually, Ben. You know, Leeds unable to progress further forward in this competition like they would have liked. With the Gateshead player down receiving treatment, which is why everyone in blue has come across for a drink. Very much deserved. There is another change coming, in which Matykiewicz has been told to get ready, number 17, for a few minutes. And he will replace Howard at the final stages of tonight's match. So on he comes, strides into defence. Another change for Leeds defensively to just try and adjust to. Leaving the field there was Fenton John, who perhaps unable to continue tonight. Enahoro-Marcus, cushion header into Cresswell. So here's White, cut back, Lienou, might have a pop, does right-footed, just tries to steer it rather than power it home. He just confirming the number 20 has gone off. Fenton John, he hasn't come back on with subs, so Leeds have got a man advantage for the last few minutes. They've been dreaming of a situation 15 minutes ago like this.
It certainly is. You can just picture the boys travelling up on the coach, up to Gateshead. The rain coming down, thinking it's going to be a difficult evening, and the way they applied themselves just been first class, really has. They've earned themselves a commanding lead, and I'm not too sure anybody on that coach would have thought the remainder of the game 3-0 up, man advantage. Don't think they'd envisaged that situation, but yeah, the hard work they've put in, you get rewards like this, and want to be a bit greedy. Can we get a fourth?
Yeah, with the attitude of the players, you'd feel, Ben, the way they play the game. It's head down and foot on the accelerator at all times when they can. Risky pass, picked up by Render, on it as quick as a flash, into White, who's picked up the rebound. Good save from Shelvey. And Logan White's producing a few good sparkling performances off the bench this season. The keeper has stayed down, by the way. We hope he's okay. Last couple of minutes to add some stoppage time onto proceedings. But yeah, he's such a quick player, Ben, gets himself in good areas, and he scored that great goal a few weeks back on the counter-attack. He adds a real dimension to this attack.
And since we got the third goal, it's not an exaggeration. It could have easily been 6 or 7 with the chances, the areas we've got into. And yeah, I think it's one of those for the goalkeeper where the area where it is hurt, I don't think a magic sponge would even help.
Yeah, I don't think so. Made worse by the conditions. And last few moments for Leeds, these are the sort of moments in games where there is frustration. Gateshead want to be off the pitch. Referee's got to do his job and add on the allocated time by the letter of the law. I mean, for the drama, I don't want anyone to be injured, and I say that every week with respect, and I do mean that. But for drama, a keeper going off for a few minutes would be ace. Just, who's off in net? Can we get 5? And I don't mean 5-0, can we get 5 to make it 8? Keepers going off is a rare thing nowadays. And he's on his feet, which is a great sign for him.
A fun fact for all the fun fact fans out there, for Johnny Howson on the bench, remember in the FA Youth Cup, he had to go in goal for a period of time. Yeah, we had a man sent off and, well, goalkeeper sent off, used all the subs. And Johnny Howson's claim to fame is that he kept a clean sheet at Ellen Road. So, of all his accomplishments, all the goals and promotions he's got, honestly, if you still speak to him to this day, he still ranks that right at the very top. So, just goes to show there's still a bit of life in this shirt.
Leeds waiting to take the corner. It's Chambers to Lienou. It's only 1 minute added on, by the way, so the referee has put Gateshead out their misery. Great night for Leeds United Academy as they run out 3-0 winners. Pickles gets a brace, a right-footed pile driver, a left-footed effort just as good, with Render's goal in between them, tapping in from a Chambers cross at the far post. The Leeds end their National League Cup campaign with a win, showing just what this young side can do. As Ben said earlier, let's hope it's the catalyst for a really solid end to the season in the games post-Christmas. So that's the full-time score. Gateshead 0, Leeds United 3.